Hello everyone, welcome to another movie recap. Today we are recapping the latest adventure of our friendly neighborhood superhero, Spider-Man. In the last movie, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man's good old nemesis, J. Jonah Jameson of the Daily Bugle had exposed Peter Parker's identity as Spider-Man to the world, while simultaneously framing him as the individual responsible for Mysterio's death and an alleged mass casualty event in London. While going to school with his girlfriend, Michelle Jones, numerous civilians nearby surrounded him and Michelle, forcing them to flee from the media and the police. They hide in Parker's apartment and reunite with May Parker and Happy Hogan, who reveal that they have broken up. Not long after, the United States Department of Damage Control take them along with Ned in their custody for interrogation. Parker hires Matt Murdock aka Daredevil to represent him, who manages to get his criminal charges dropped. However, as Parker, Jones, and Leeds return to Midtown High for their senior year, the intense controversy causes them to be rejected from every college they apply to, including MIT. Parker visits the New York Sanctum and asks Dr. Strange to make the identity of Spider-Man a secret once more to get his friends into MIT. Despite being warned by Wong not to, Strange attempts to cast the spell with the runes of Kofkol. However, Parker incessantly alters the spell when requesting various individuals close to him to be exempt from its effects. As a result, the spell becomes unstable, forcing Strange to contain it. For not consulting with college administrators before meeting with him, Strange furiously kicks Parker out of the sanctum. Contacting Flash Thompson, who was admitted to MIT, Parker is led to an administrator heading to the Alexander Hamilton Bridge in an attempt to appeal his, Jones and Leeds applications. Parker is suddenly ambushed by Dr. Octopus, who seems to know him personally. Dr. Octopus grabs him and rips out a piece of the Iron Spider armor, transferring its nanites onto his tentacles. He goes for another strike, but Spider-Man reveals his face, which is unfamiliar to Dr. Octopus. Spider-Man then takes control of Dr. Octopus' tentacles with the suit's nanites and rescues the MIT admin from falling off the bridge, who decides to help get him and his friends admitted out of gratitude. Green Goblin arrives and attempts to attack Spider-Man, but he and Dr. Octopus are transported into the sanctum, where Strange imprisons Dr. Octopus and Lizard. He informs Parker that the botched spell began bringing in people that knew Spider-Man's identity from other universes within Multiverse into their universe. He then tells him that despite containing the spell, Dr. Octopus, Lizard and Green Goblin were among the few from other universes that squeaked through. To ensure the spell remains contained, Strange locks it in the Mach-China Decatavis, a mystical containment unit. Parker is recruited to help find and capture these visitors, receiving a magic-based upgrade to his suit. With assistance from Jones and Leeds, Spider-Man locates Electro outside the city. Startled, he attacks Spider-Man and gains the upper hand, but Sandman intervenes to shield the hero. The two work together to cut the power lines, which fully restores Electro's body. When he is sent to the Sanctum, Sandman believes Spider-Man killed him but is also captured before he can retaliate. Elsewhere, Norman Osborn attempts to escape from his Green Goblin alter ego, breaking his mask before fleeing to a FAST facility seeking refuge. Spider-Man locates Osborn thanks to May and brings him to the Sanctum as well. Osborn, Dr. Octopus, and Electro soon realize that they had originally died fighting the Spider-Man of their respective universes and were spared by the spell, with Octopus and Electro recalling their last memories before ending up in this universe. Octopus then claims that if they were to return home, they would then perish. Strange explains to Spider-Man that these three are doomed to die fighting their own Spider-Man. He intends to use the Mach-China to reverse the spell and send them back to their fates for the sake of the greater multiverse, much to the fear of Octopus, Green Goblin, Lizard, and Electro. Convinced that they can be cured of their antagonistic natures and be spared from death, Spider-Man steals the Mach-China before Strange can use it and flees. Strange gives chase, takes Spider-Man's magic back, and sends him into the mirror dimension to retrieve the Mach-China. Unfazed, Spider-Man entangles Strange in a web matrix and steals his sling ring before returning to the earthly plane. He passes the ring to Leeds and the Mach-China to Jones before releasing the prisoners from confinement. Taking them to Hogan's condominium, Spider-Man attempts to administer cures for the multiversal refugees. He starts with Dr. Octopus, using a Stark Industries fabricator to engineer a replacement inhibitor chip for his tentacles and restore his higher brain function. In addition, Electro has an energy siphon installed into him which is designed to extract his powers. But before he could affect Osborn, the Green Goblin persona takes over his body, who persuades Electro to remove the siphon before it can fully take away his abilities. He steals an arc reactor and, drawing its power, blasts Octavius out of the building. Lizard, Sandman, and Electro escape, while Green Goblin attacks Spider-Man, sending him to the ground floor. Running outside, May injects an antidote into Green Goblin, which doesn't work. After striking May with his Goblin glider, Green Goblin tosses two pumpkin bombs, which Spider-Man fails to block and explodes in their proximity. Spider-Man manages to locate May in the rubble. Unaware that she had been gravely injured, May tells her nephew not to give up helping others despite all odds, lecturing him that with great power comes great responsibility. As DODC officers surround them, Spider-Man tries to save May, to no avail, as she passes away in front of him. Hogan arrives on the scene and is immediately apprehended by the authorities. Grief-stricken, Spider-Man flees, his guilt worsening with Jameson's gaslighting coverage of the attack. Growing worrisome after Spider-Man's silence, Jones prepares to activate the Mach-China, but Leeds manages to open a portal with the sling ring by accident. Attempting to find Spider-Man, they see what seems to be their Spider-Man on the other side of the portal, calling him over. However, they soon realize that this Spider-Man is not theirs, but rather one from another universe that previously fought the Lizard and Electro. Leeds tries again, but summons yet another alternate Peter Parker, who previously fought Green Goblin, Octavius, and Sandman. The group finally manage to find their Spider-Man alone on top of Midtown and attempt to console him about May, but he is too distraught about his mistakes to even care. Before he can use the Mach-China to send the multiversal travelers home, the other two Parkers begin sharing their own personal experiences of loss and bitterness to help him cope and realize that he is not alone. A cheered-up Spider-Man then decides to do what he planned to do: heal the villains. The Parkers, Jones, and Leeds then retreat to a classroom laboratory in Midtown to create the cure for the villains. Osborn's Parker engineers an anti-serum for Green Goblin as Electro's Parker recreates the Lizard antidote to return him back to normal, while our Spider-Man prepares the cures for Sandman and Electro. Afterwards, Leeds brings them to the Statue of Liberty via portal as he and Jones remain in the lab. Spider-Man calls into the Daily Bugle to broadcast a message, using the Mach-China as a lure while announcing his presence to Lizard, Electro, and Sandman. They arrive and attack the three Spider-Men on the scaffolding. The web-slingers are unable to coordinate effectively, which leads them to be easily overpowered by their enemies. Grouping up, Spider-Man assumes command of the trio due to his experience as part of the Avengers. The three adopt codenames: Spider-Man as Peter 1, Osborn's and Sandman Spider-Man as Peter 2, and Electro's and Lizard's Spider-Man as Peter 3. They decide to engage and cure one enemy at a time, with Sandman first. After restraining Lizard, Peter 3 retrieves Sandman's cure and passes the device to Peter 1, who then delivers the cure to Peter 2, allowing Marco to be neutralized. The three Spider-Men attempt to take the arc reactor from Electro, but he proves to be too much of a match for them due to his increased power from the energy source. Lizard breaks free and attacks Jones and Leeds in the lab, forcing Peter 1 to leave and fight him. With the help of Leeds and his sling ring, Peter 1 forces Lizard to break open a bottle containing the antidote which reverts him back to his human form, Kurt Connors. Leeds accidentally summons Strange to the battlefield who, upon seeing Connors, realizes Peter 1's pacifist plan is working. Strange grabs back the Mach-China and his sling ring from Leeds. Peter 2 and Peter 3 are overpowered by Electro, until Octavius arrives to extract the arc reactor himself and render him powerless with the finished neutralizer. Peter 3 reconciles with Dylan, while Peter 2 warmly reunites with Octavius. Peter 1 returns to Strange as he prepares to use the Mach-China to send everyone home. Suddenly, Green Goblin ambushes the group and takes the Mach-China, but Octavius and Strange grab it back. Unbeknownst to them, Green Goblin had snuck a pumpkin bomb inside the object. It detonates and releases the unstable contain spell, tearing the fabric of the universe and opens it up to the multiverse. The blast also causes Jones to fall from the Statue of Liberty. Peter 1 dives to rescue her but is knocked aside by Green Goblin. Peter 3 saves her and begins to tear up as it reminded him of the night his girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, died. As dawn breaks, Peter 1 confronts Green Goblin alone. Ravaged with vengeance, he viciously beats him down and attempts to finish him off with his glider but is stopped by Peter 2. This however leaves him open to get stabbed in the back by Green Goblin. Peter 3 provides Peter 1 with the anti-serum, allowing him to cure Osborn from Green Goblin. He notices Peter 2's injury, which is non-fatal, which horrifies him, and causes him to ask what he has done. Strange struggles to hold the rifts in the universe together, in which intruders are already preparing to invade this reality. However, Peter 1 requests him to make a new spell to make everyone forget who he is to fix it, which Strange was initially unwilling to do because this would mean everyone would forget him but is persuaded by Peter to do so. Afterwards, Peter 1 embraces his alternate selves, who encourage him to continue as Spider-Man. Strange repairs the rifts with the new spell and successfully transports Peter 2, Peter 3, Dylan, Octavius, Osborn, Marco and Connors back to their origin universes. Spider-Man embraces Leeds and Jones for a final time, while promising to return someday and help them remember him. He then departs as Strange unleashes the spell, leaving the entire world completely oblivious to Parker's existence. A few weeks later, it is now the holidays. Parker tries to reconnect with his MIT-bound friends, but after being reminded of Jones' wounds, he decides not to. He visits May's grave to pay his respect and is joined by Hogan, who is also now a stranger to him. Intending to carry on with his new life, Parker moves into a new apartment alone and begins studying to earn his GED. Alerted to criminal activity on his phone, he stitches together a simpler suit and resumes his heroics undisturbed as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. In a credit scene, Eddie Brock, who is also transported from another universe by strange spell, drinks in a bar in Tijuana and talks to Venom about what is going on in that universe. Brock thinks that they need to find Spider-Man, but in that moment, he and Venom get transported back to their universe. However, Venom leaves a symbiote fragment there, hinting at a Venom appearance in the upcoming movies. That's it for today's recap. Like and subscribe for more. Peace.